From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
A Valley lab believes it may have found the key to curing and even reversing the effects of Alzheimer's. The revolutionary treatment patients say is changing their lives.
Plus, the city of Phoenix working to train, recruit, and retain the next generation of garbage truck drivers.
And esports makes its debut at the Arizona State Fair. We've got your front row seat to college gamers competing for cash prizes.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Marcella Baeto.
And I'm Jordan Elder. Thank you for joining us.
Our big story tonight, a glimmer of hope for Alzheimer's patients as a Phoenix-based company says they may be one step closer to a cure.
Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, but the company's new high-tech treatment plan is giving some hope.
Cronkite News reporter Frankie McClister joins us now from the control room to explain. Frankie?
Yeah, NeuroEM Therapeutics says that the wearable device that they created, it goes on your head. It's showing some promising signs for those with Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's disease is such a terrible disease that anything that might help is worth examining.
Paul Coleman knows this all too well. As a researcher with ASU's Biodesign Institute, he's dedicated his life's work to studying Alzheimer's disease.
For a long time, Alzheimer's disease was regarded as just growing old. Oh, he or she is senile.
But around 1975, it was recognized as an official disease, and since then, millions of dollars have gone into research and looking for a cure. Among them, NeuroEM, a Phoenix company that now says they may have stumbled upon a device that may be helping patients. In a statement on their website, it says one of their clinical trials has shown the reversal of cognitive impairment in Alzheimer's disease patients. This just after 2 months of treatment using the company's wearable head device. The cap sends waves into the patient's brain, improving function. Coleman says he's cautiously optimistic about what the company says they've been able to achieve.
I find myself wondering how solid are their results? How many people have they tested?
For now, NeuroEM's clinical trial continues, with researchers hoping their bioengineering technology succeeds where drug therapy has failed.
And the state where we're at now is that we have a clear path forward, and that path involves a test for early diagnosis of the disease and a way to treat the disease very early in its course.
And that study included 8 patients in total. Now that cap, it's not available commercially yet, as it's still being in development. In the control room, I'm Frankie McClister, Cronkite News.
Drug company Biogen says it will seek federal approval for a medicine to treat early Alzheimer's disease. Today's announcement was a surprise to many after the company stopped 2 drug studies earlier this year. The new drug aims to help the body clear harmful plaques from the brain. Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia.
The 2020 Census Office opened in Phoenix today. The Bureau says it's making changes to ensure an accurate count, especially of Native Americans and other underserved communities.
Reporter Jenna Iannone attended a news conference this morning to learn more about those changes. Jenna?
In the 2010 census, the Bureau says that racial and ethnic minorities were severely undercounted. Only 4.9% of Native populations were counted. And to do a better job, they've made some changes.
This year, there's a new focus to the 2020 census, making sure that underserved communities are counted accurately. The data collection process has evolved, using a combination of new technology and good old door-to-door hand deliveries. U.S. Census Bureau's Timothy Olson says that the key to a successful count is persistence, along with a little something extra.
In many areas, we are doing a slightly different style of enumeration rather than the post office mailing invitations. We are hand delivering to each address.
Here in Arizona, extra outreach will be handled by 25 community chairs assigned to specific communities and areas.
We'll have 16 subcommittees. Each of those committees will be communicating with their own individual communities, whether it's the Latino community, the tribal community, whatever that is. And it's so important that they're able to tell us how we need to communicate, where we communicate, how we can best reach the people in their community.
The census will begin to be distributed to all communities starting in January. The form will consist of 7 basic questions. Citizens will fill in their name, sex, age, family or roommates, relationship to that person, and race. We sat down with one Native American leader who explained why the 2010 census count was off.
So from a long history and a very negative history with the federal government, I think a lot of American Indians have a huge distrust.
Addressing these concerns of distrust and safety is a major focus this year. The Bureau is now turning the initiative over to the trusted leaders of smaller communities to explain why responding to the questionnaire matters.
I need you to respond. It's going to affect our future for a decade. It affects how we're represented, and it's safe. Please self-respond.
The census count ends next August, and after that, local governments will get their share of an estimated $650 billion based on the population. In the Broadcast Center, I'm Jenny Annoni for Cronkite News.
Flags at state office buildings are flying at half-staff today in honor of a fallen soldier from Peoria. 21-year-old Antonio Garcia died Sunday morning during a training accident at Fort Stewart, Georgia.
The deceased soldiers are Sergeant First Class Brian Jenkins from Florida, Corporal Thomas Cole from Ohio, and PFC Antonio Garcia from Arizona. We will hold a memorial service for the soldiers in the near future, honoring their service to our nation. The 3rd Infantry Division and a team from the U.S. Army Combat Readiness Center are here investigating the incident, but our primary focus truly is for the care for the family members of the soldiers, their families that were all affected by this tragedy.
Garcia was among soldiers training in darkness when their armored vehicle fell from a bridge and landed upside down in the water below.
Arizona Republican Senator Martha McSally can now add author to her resume. Her Dare to Fly book will hit bookstores next May. The 53-year-old veteran hopes her experience as the first female fighter pilot to fly in combat will inspire men and women in all stages of life. McSally served 2 terms in Congress before being selected to fill the late Senate seat of John McCain. President Donald Trump triggering a social and political firestorm today after calling the impeachment inquiry against him a, quote, lynching. The president's invocation of the murder of African Americans drew immediate and widespread backlash from historians and voters, as well as Democrats and some Republicans on Capitol Hill. Senator Kamala Harris called the comparison disgraceful, while South Carolina Representative Jim Clyburn says the comment was beneath the dignity of the office of the president. But Senator Lindsey Graham came to the president's defense, saying the inquiry is, quote, a lynching in every sense. Outside the White House today, the deputy White House secretary told reporters the president was in no way comparing the impeachment inquiry to the past and defended Trump's track record with the African American community.
Yeah, but the president's not comparing what happened to him with one of our darkest moments in American history. He's just not. What he's explaining clearly is the way he's been treated by the media since he announced for president. What the president has done for the African American community is something no other president has been able to accomplish in my lifetime.
New CNN poll reveals 50% of Americans now support impeaching and removing the president from office. His approval rating remains steady at 41%.
Up ahead, we're talking trash and showing you the push underway right now to keep Phoenix clean by training the next generation of sanitation workers.
Coming up, I'll tell you in the 7-day forecast whether you should be experiencing lower temperatures as we move closer to Halloween.
NBC anchor Lester Holt as he receives the 2019 Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism. Attracting industry leaders from the media, politics, business, and education, the award luncheon is the Cronkite School's signature event. Tickets for the luncheon ceremony on Monday, November 4th at the Sheraton in Phoenix are available for sale at cronkite.asu.edu/luncheon or call 602-496-0482.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Join us each week on Catalyst, the show that explores new advancements, technologies, and innovations at Arizona State University that are shaping the future for tomorrow and beyond. Catalyst, Wednesdays at 9, right here on Arizona PBS.
With wildfires, a scarcity of water, and other environmental issues facing the Earth today, it's critical to stay up to date with local impacts of a changing climate. That's why we created Elemental, Covering Sustainability, a multimedia collaboration between public television and radio stations. From climate change to water conservation to renewable energy and much more, Elemental covers the latest in sustainability news. Find our stories on our website, elementalreports.com.
Driving a garbage truck isn't always a job everyone is lining up for.
So to help find drivers, the city of Phoenix decided to grow their own by starting an apprentice program.
Cronkite News reporter Peter Gong explains how it all works. Peter?
I talked to John Lavelle, who is one of the success stories from the program. He graduated and now works as a garbage truck driver.
I was very glad that I graduated.
John Lavelle works as a garbage truck driver collecting garbage for the city of Phoenix. He inspects the garbage truck and gets ready to drive a route to collect garbage. While it's an everyday job for Lavelle, he was able to get the job through the city's year-long solid waste equipment operator apprentice program.
It was intense, you know, every day is different, but this program gets you that skill to, go through it without any problems.
Through the program, apprentices get training to prepare for the job like operating a garbage truck. They are paid $16.09 per hour during the program, and once they complete the program and start as a garbage truck driver, they get paid $17.74 per hour.
They go through a classroom setting first and they gain their permit. They learn about the road and heavy-duty equipment.
According to Stellar, the city's apprentice program has successfully retained most of its graduates. The Center for American Progress finds that programs like the city's apprentice program are successful. It helps retain skilled workers and improve the work quality. The program also addresses the problem that the city faces when it comes to filling in their job vacancies.
We were struggling with the private sector to attract drivers, and this program has helped us, build from within.
As a result, workers including John Lavelle, who went through the program, are satisfied.
The doors are open, it's a great opportunity.
The city of Phoenix is looking to recruit more people for the apprenticeship program starting around January of next year. Live in the studio, Peter Gahn, Cronkite News.
New tonight, Arizona's road infrastructure is in the top half of U.S. states. That's according to a recent study by Quote Wizard Lending Tree's online insurance marketplace. They ranked the condition and investment in roads for all 50 states based on an analysis of Federal Highway Administration data. Arizona ranked 32nd, with 50th place being best overall. So here's how they came up with that score. They say 19% of Arizona roads are in poor condition. The annual cost per motorist is $576, and 15% was spent on road repairs in our state.
And now the wait is almost over.
Finally, tomorrow, Arizona's first ever White Castle will finally open off Loop 101 and Via de Ventura.
Hundreds of fans are expected to show up, but don't worry if you can't make it when the doors open at 8 a.m. They'll be serving fast food 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night options. Plus, this will be the largest White Castle in the world and the first family-owned White Castle in the West.
Also opening up tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning, Fry's Supermarket on 1st and Jefferson Street. This means downtown will no longer be a food desert for people living within a 1-mile radius. Experts say living in a food desert increases the likelihood of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease.
After the break, the sun does a lot for the Earth, giving us everything from vitamin D to power. But what about water? We'll take a look at the zero mass technology harnessing the sun's rays to keep Arizona students hydrated. As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickerburg.
Live in Los Angeles.
In Cleveland. In Washington. In Louisville.
From Jerusalem.
Live in Philadelphia. From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
Solar panels are a common way to get renewable energy, especially here in Arizona. But one company is using solar panels to pull water straight from the air.
That's right. I got to see this in action recently and learn about how this technology is helping Arizonans as well as people around the world.
This is where the Zero Mass Water team designs, builds, and deploys hydro panels. It's where we make water from air.
You heard that right. They make water from thin air. Fitzgerald says Zero Mass Water is the world's only off-grid way to get drinking water by using solar energy.
There's no single filter you can get at your home that will filter every contaminant out. Having a source hydro panel, whether it's for a school, a business, or a home, means that you know that every time the sun shines, you're making water.
Here's how the system works. First, this solar panel pulls in heat and electricity to power the fans. These fans pull in air so that a special absorbent material can pull in the water. After that, the dew point is raised so the water can condense, and then it's ready to move on. And the last step of the journey is the water moves through pipes all the way to these dispensers.
This technology is producing water right here in Arizona, including at Copper King Elementary. Principal Janine Ambrose says these 10 panels start a conversation with students.
We were looking at Arizona here, and we're always in a drought and looking for water. We're really trying to teach them to be more aware of how they're using resources on the planet because they might not be here in their future.
Students are taught alongside the technology.
We are getting fresh water every single day by renewable sources that are in our world, basically.
We can actually see it because it's like right next to us. Like, I think that's like really cool. We connect to it.
We're finding out how this can work and then how we can do a better job of teaching kids about sustainability.
Students like Tristan and Celeste are excited to learn about renewable solutions because the water crisis may affect their future.
And by 2030, we will only have about 60% of the water the world demands. We have to reach the places around the world we know are facing a lot of water stress as our climate continues to change.
But there's a need right now. The World Health Organization reports that 2.1 billion people don't have access to clean drinking water. Zero Mass is trying to improve this in the 30 countries they currently operate in. The company installed hydro panels at schools in Africa, in indigenous Australian communities, and in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria.
The technology is really exciting, but it's the impact on people's lives and what they do with the technology that we find really inspiring.
The recommended 2 hydro panel set costs about $5,500 and will generate between 300 and 600 bottles of water every month.
Millard Thomas joins us now from the Cronkite News Weather Center.
Millard, what is going on? It got hot and then now it's cold, and is it going to get hot again?
Yeah, so temperatures are fluctuating a lot right now. But as always, let's start with your Tuesday weather report. I'm already here, so as you can see, temperatures are going to be starting about 89 degrees when you guys are getting off work. And then today, it's Taco Tuesday, the NBA season starts, it's World Series, so I know you guys are going out tonight. And as you can see, temperatures are going to drop all the way to 80 degrees around 8 p.m., then even dip a little bit lower to 75 around 10 o'clock tonight. Let's see those lows tomorrow for Wednesday. As you can see, average temperature this time of year is about 62 degrees. We're going to stay right around there. 62 in Phoenix, 60 in Glendale. Then actually, the cool spot around here is actually going to be Queen Creek down in the south, only 55 degrees. Let's see the day planner for the rest of your Wednesday. As you can see, mornings from here on out are going to be a little bit cooler. 66 when you wake up at 8 a.m., so you might need to grab a sweater. That's going to climb all the way to 88 around 2 before it tops off at 86 around 6 p.m. As you can see, our 7-day forecast, 91 on Wednesday. That's going to be the last time we're in 90s the rest of the week. 87 on Thursday, 84 on Friday. Let's see how the weekend's shaping up. 85 on Saturday, 86 on Sunday, and that's it for me, Millard Thomas from the Cronkite News Weather Center.
Coming up next on Cronkite News at 5, a new twist on carnival games, why you may want to take your favorite gaming controller to the fair this weekend.
Join Emmy Award-winning NBC anchor Lester Holt as he receives the 2019 Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism. Attracting industry leaders from the media, politics, business, and education, the award luncheon is the Cronkite School's signature event. Tickets for the luncheon ceremony on Monday, November 4th at the Sheraton in Phoenix are available for sale at cronkite.asu.edu/luncheon or call 602-496-0482.
With wildfires, a scarcity of water, and other environmental issues facing the Earth today, it's critical to stay up to date with local impacts of a changing climate. That's why we created Elemental, covering sustainability, a multimedia collaboration between public television and radio stations. From climate change to water conservation to renewable energy and much more, Elemental covers the latest in sustainability news. Find our stories on our website, elementalreports.com.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickenburg.
Live in Los Angeles.
In Cleveland. In Washington. In Louisville.
From Jerusalem. Live in Philadelphia. From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
On the next Arizona Horizon, an Arizona doctor chronicles his efforts to develop an instrument that makes cancer more treatable. The story includes investor reticence and protests by the medical community. It's on the next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff. Tonight on the NewsHour, President Trump responds to mounting criticism over Syria and an escalating impeachment inquiry. Coming up after Cronkite News and Arizona Horizon on Arizona PBS.
A new attraction at the Arizona State Fair has locals lining up for their chance at a prize. But this is not your everyday ring toss.
Cronkite News esports reporter Eric Ruby joins us in the studio. Eric, how and why have esports made their way to the fairgrounds?
Well, esports is an industry that's seen a major boom, and now, with the help of the Arizona State Fair, audiences are growing one Arizonan at a time. The State Fair, an Arizona institution since 1905, is experimenting with a new attraction this year.
In years past, going to the State Fair meant playing games like this. But now, it means using games like this.
The State Fair is holding an esports exhibition and competition for the first time ever. The event has everything from casual gaming experiences to collegiate-level competitions and tournaments for money. State Fair representative and director of sponsorships Kat Landingen says despite it only being their first year, they're already feeling support from fans and sponsors.
We've gotten a lot of support online. We've gotten a lot of partners in the esports world all over the city contacting us, so that's amazing. That's one of the goals that we had.
Not only has the event brought eyes to the esports world, it's brought money. Through a partnership with the Arizona Lottery, the State Fair has put on daily cash matches where they'll be giving away $19,000 to the winners over the entirety of the fair. But one of the vendor coordinators, stage director Brian Hollis, thinks the importance of events like these at places like the State Fair goes beyond just the money.
I mean, just in general, esports is real. It's not going away. It's growing. It's only going to get bigger. It is the sport of the future. And whether you think sports have to do with athletics or not, it's not the point. The point is this is not going anywhere. And these being at agricultural fairs like this are a prime example.
Did you guys know that the Arizona State Fair has brought in over 1 million Arizonans over the last couple of years? That's a lot of people, but personally, I'm not the biggest playing the esports guy. I like to stick to the regular fair games. What are your guys' favorite part of the State Fair?
I'm really into the Ferris wheel, for sure. What about you?
I like the whack-a-mole just because you get to hit them.
A little aggressive.
Miller, what about you?
I just like to eat all the fried Oreos, honestly.
Just the fried Oreos.
Yeah,
You just come for the food.
Just the junk.
None of the fried cheesecake or ice cream or anything like that? Just the Oreos?
Just the Oreos.
I like the funnel cakes.
Well, that's insane. Well, that's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
And stay connected with us on Twitter and Facebook. 10 Simons and Arizona Horizon is next.
Have a good night, and we'll see you here tomorrow.